Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy I for the Nintendo Entertainment System played on the Wii Virtual Console. Marty Mouse, Milo, Wimbley, and Fibbs just finished their journey in Onrac, a new town that was once prosperous before the Fiend of Water, Kraken, teamed up with the Fiend of Wind, Tiamat, to bring destruction to the northern civilizations. Despite that destruction, though, the town is still there, but they have some problems. So they need to go and reach the mermaids, who they used to associate with, who live in the sea shrine which was pulled down to the bottom of the sea by Kraken. So, gotta go help those mermaids, but we also gotta investigate. Apparently something fell into the waterfall to the north of the town, so that's where we're heading here now. So, interesting little dungeon, different. Kind of reminds me of Shadowgate. In the one section there's like a hidden wall behind a waterfall. So, but yeah, most dungeons have like a hole or like a cave, an entrance that you can really see, so it's kind of different to approach a waterfall and like ride into the waterfall. But I guess there's a hidden cave. Well, there is a hidden cave behind the waterfall, and it is in this cave that we can potentially see Out of Bounds Bat. I just saw Wimbley's hit percentage there. It is at 65, which means he gets another attack. So 2 because of his fists. So yeah, Wimbley's getting pretty dangerous with his ninja moves. So now at the bottom down here, there's a treasure room, and that's where we can find the Out of Bounds Bat in this area around here. I'm gonna hug the wall here, but sometimes there's a bat that loads incorrectly in the game, and it loads in the walls. So that is the fabled Out of Bounds Bat, but we did not get Mr. Out of Bounds Bat this time, so oh well, maybe I'll have to do some bonus episodes and try to find him. But unfortunately, as soon as we enter into this treasure room, we run into a trap tile. Mummies ain't a problem. The wizard mummies not a problem either. The big one is the cockatrices. Remember, if they hit you, they can turn you into stone. So we're just gonna use area of attack spells. This is a short dungeon. This is the end of it. So yeah, just use your spells. So don't want to get turned into stone. Wizard staff that casts confuse when used in battle. Ribbon, ultimate headgear. It basically gives you elemental protection. It basically has built-in like the A-lit spells, so it has like built-in A-lit, A-fire, and A-ice. So unfortunately you can only get 3 of them in the game. So Wimbley, he ain't gonna get a ribbon, but since we're not class changing him, he'll get really good magic defense. There's a defense sword. When used in battle, it casts the ruse spell. So it's good to have maybe on your first character. That way they can get some extra defense. Take this cube. With it, you can transfer to the floating castle. Please. So we're gonna have to step on that trap tile again, but we'll do it the same way. We'll use Marty will use his AoE spells. Milo will use one of his level 3 AoE spells. Yeah, well, the cockatrices don't have 2. I just used the level 2 there. So this a dungeon is full of mud golems, so I ended up saving those level 3 charges for those mud golems. It seemed like it was every single encounter I was running into with the mud golems. So one encounter though that's really rare that I was lucky to get there was that gas dragon. It's only a 1 in 64 encounter, so I was really surprised that I ended up getting that gas dragon. It's much more common later on in the game, in the Temple of Fiends. Spoiler, the Temple of Fiends, there's a second Temple of Fiends dungeon, and it's full of basically like the toughest monsters in the game. So a lot of dragons of all different types, so including the gas dragon there. So, but that'll be for much, much later. We have to focus instead on the Fiend of Wind and the Fiend of Air yet. We have to take out them. Then we have a regular spawning bat, not too long ago there. So, in order to reach the Fiend of Water, we're going to have to get the oxyale, because that's needed to provide air for the submarine that somebody in Onrac built. They were like, hey, we can reach the mermaids, but we need this oxyale to use the submarine. We did get a clue on where that oxyale, well, we know where oxyale is. We got the clue that the oxyale is can be drawn from the spring in Gaia by a fairy, but unfortunately the fairy was kidnapped and sold to someone by a bad pirate. Now, we did learn in Onrac that there's a caravan out west, and the merchant there has something unique for sale, so maybe it might be the fairy. So we will head over there to that caravan after this. We gotta finish off these new river monsters. Well, they're not new because we did encounter them earlier. Keeping this battle in because I get a level up afterwards, and per the course, I'm keeping in battles where I level up, so you can kind of see the stats that I get. But one of the interesting things about the caravan is there's like a little glitch associated with it. Normally, the airship can only land on grass. However, the caravan, it can land on the caravan, even though the caravan is a desert tile. It's the only desert tile in the game that you can land on, so pretty neat. So I think speedrunners found that out, obviously, because it saves a little bit of a trek. It's not too far of a trek. It's basically, you basically want to park your airship the same place you park it when you're going to Onrac. But instead of heading to the right up the river, you just cross the river and then head north. And there's a small little desert there. It's roughly, like I said, about the same distance from where you park the airship to Onrac. So I'll show it off. Flying on the airship, of course, so I don't get those random encounters. But you'll get to see the distance that you basically have to travel. And then, of course, I'll show off the glitch where I just land on the caravan. Hope I don't squish any tents. So, don't worry, you don't squish any tents when you land on the airships. When you land the airship on the caravan. So, I guess we're very careful when we land, which is a very heroic thing to do. Marty, Milo, Wimbley, and Fibbs, of course, being the hero ratties they are, they're not going to cause problems for people. They're here to solve problems. They're also here to fight new enemies like this Neocho, the last of the new river monsters up north. So, it's annoying like the Ochos. It has the poison touch, so thankfully no one got poisoned. But, alright. Now we're going to head to the north here. Slight little flight. There's the little desert, and we have a little section separated from the desert. There's a desert section, but it's separated by a little bit of trees. That's the oasis. We land on the oasis, and we can buy the bottle. Wanted to make sure we had at least 50,000 gold. That's one of the reasons why I went to the waterfall first, because I didn't have that money needed to buy the bottle. So, let's make a quick stop here on this island. There is an enemy that we did not encounter here that it's pretty easy to encounter here, so I figured might as well wipe it off. It's available a little bit later on in a different dungeon, but there's no guarantee that we'd run into it here, so this is the highest place to find it. There it is, the Manticore. So, like the Neocho, the last enemy that I showed fighting off, this one has an annoying attack called Stinger. It hits everybody and it has a chance to poison them. So look at that, of course, it's using it. And it's poisoning Fibbs and Milo. Boo. So. But, well, luckily it poisoned the ones in the back, so I don't have to rearrange my party. Just have to heal that poison. So. Alright. Let's take off. We're going to head over to Gaia. Luckily, we don't get poisoned when we're flying in the airship. But once we land, we'll have to heal it. You can open the bottle at any point. I'm just heading over to Gaia, because that's basically where you have to go anyway. I'm saving the fairy a trip. When you open the bottle, it says a fairy flies out, and basically it flies away. And then you're just left with the empty bottle. So I'm going to save the fairy some flight. I figure, hey, it's easier for us to fly the fairy close to her home than have her have to basically fly across the entire world. So, or most of the world, so. We're just going to head over to the spring. We'll open up the bottle, and then there'll be a fairy there. So let's go to our items. Pop! A fairy appears. So now let's go talk with her here. That pirate trapped me in the bottle. I will draw oxyale from the bottom of the spring for you. Well, thank you. Thank you for saving me. Remember, oxyale will give you air. And that is what we need to travel in the submarine. So, and I need to uncure that poison. I totally forgot to do that. But that's okay, we'll be staying at an inn to heal ourselves up. So, luckily, because we don't encounter any random encounters in the airship, we can fly to a cheaper inn. So let's just hop in our airship and take off. So, head north here. There we go, we can stop here at Crescent Lake. The inn's right across the entrance to the village. There we go. Nice. So, speaking of Crescent Lake, after we defeat the water titan, I know they said every time we basically defeat a fiend, we should go back and talk with them. But they don't give actually any new information once you defeat the Fiend of Water. But they do after we defeat the final fiend, the Fiend of Air, but that'll be a little bit later. But for now, we're gonna head back to the ice cave. So get some more experience here, finish out the ice cave. Remember, we skipped that one treasure chest, but the enemy that guards that treasure chest now, the mage enemy, they're not as bad because we got pro rings, and that'll protect us against the rub spell that the mage enemy is pretty known to use frequently. So we're going to head there and get that little piece of treasure that's totally worthless. It's actually a cloth armor, which is the basic beginner armor for mages. It's the first piece of armor that we got for Milo and Fibbs back in Corneria. So yeah, totally outclassed by this point in the game. There's also a few new random encounters that we didn't encounter here. But if we don't encounter some of them, they are available to the northwest of Onrac. So there's an enemy called the Great Peed. That's a 3 in 64 encounter on the bottom floor of basement 3. It's more common than the overworld. So if we don't encounter it here, we'll just encounter it in the overworld. We did encounter the sorcerers here, which we wanted to encounter. We ran from them last time we went through here because they have this death touch. Basically, if they hit you, there's a chance that they instantly knock you out. So, and they have 3 hits. They only ever going to do 3 damage at most because their attack is so low. But that's 3 chances that they have to cause instant death on you. So I'm using Fibbs' Invis 2 spell there to help boost the dodge rating of everybody. And we got very unlucky. One of the sorcerers used Trance, and that paralyzed all our characters. Mainly Marty and Wimbley, who we want to, take these guys out. So, unfortunately, unlike the wizards, these sorcerers are not weak to lightning, so... but Milo's best form of attack is still going to be that Zeus's Gauntlet. So, maybe he can take one of them out. Nice, he took out 2 of them. Good job. And Wimbley with his ninja moves will finish off the last one. So, yeah, it's a scary encounter there. Yeah, for the most part, I see sorcerers, I run. But I wanted to fill out the bestiary and show them off, so... Usually run from these guys, too, because 50% of the chance, 50% of the time, they're going to use a spell, and their spell list starts off with Rub. So, And that's the one that Astos used. There we go. But the Pro Wings are going to make that ineffective, so got lucky there. Nope. Just try to take them out as soon as possible. As you can see, they use a lot of level 3 spells afterwards, so you might want to throw up, like if you think it's going to be a long battle, throw up one of the A-Lits, A-Fires, based on the frequency that they use the spells. A-Lit being the highest priority, because Lightning 3 is their second spell they use after Rub, the first after Rub, so. Once again, we got this other trap tile here, bunch of undead. So, just clear them out with maybe Milo's Fire 2. Eventually, we're going to get an item in the Sea Shrine that casts Fire 2. We have that Zeus Gauntlet that uses Lightning 2 when used as an item. We'll get one that does Fire 2. And then we'll also get eventually 2 axes, the Light Axes, which cast Harm 2 when used in battle. Harm 2 effective against undead, so just like the Fire is, but actually Harm 2 is a little bit better than Fire 2 when dealing with undead, because it has a higher, I guess, damage range. I guess that's how they balance the spells out, because Harms are only good against undead, so if they had the same base damage as a Fire spell, there'd be no reason to use Harm. Because Fire 2 would just do the same thing, so in order to give Harm some usage, they give it a better, like, base multiplier. So, alrighty, well, we cleared out the ice cave finally, so we never have to go there again. Check out our map, see where we're at. Okay, we're pretty close to where we want to be. Okay, we're to the northwest of Onrac. And this is, we can head to Onrac by just heading to the southeast there through those forests. But we're going to stop here because in this enemy zone we can run into some enemies that are normally in the, that are normally found in the ice cave. It's weird that they're here. It's included the Great Pede and Frost Giants. So, there we go, there's our first Frost Giant there. You can normally encounter them solo on the second floor of the ice cave, or in groups with frost wolves like here on the third floor. But we did not get into any of them, surprisingly. It's not that they're not that rare of an encounter. I didn't expect to encounter the Great Pede, like I said, because they're only a 3 in 67 chance, a 64 chance. So, not a very good option. I think that's like a little less than 5%. But being a frost, they are weak to fire, so use fire if you got it. And because we'll be heading to Onrac here after this, and in Onrac we'll hit the inn and heal up and make a save. So. Alright, well there's another bestiary entry completed. Now let's get that Great Pede. Or maybe we can just call him an OK Pede. Slightly above average Pede. Actually it's GR Pede, so maybe they mean Grape Pede. Or Grey Pede. Or Green Pede. Yeah, I guess sprite limitations. That's or character limitations, which is why I couldn't spell out, you know, Marty and Wimbley and Fibbs. Fibbs normally has should have 2 B's in it, if you follow Marty Mouse House. So, there it is. The GRP, I just call it the Great Pede. As you can see, that's how I spelled out the abbreviation there. I figured it's more powerful than the regular centipede, so let's just call it the Great Pede. I guess you could call it the Green Pede though, because its body is green, or maybe the Grape Pede, because its legs are purple, like grapes or some grapes. It's pretty interesting. They had cotton candy flavored grapes. If I wanted to eat cotton candy, I just buy cotton candy, but obviously grapes are more healthy. But yeah, it's weird how they grew grapes that taste like cotton candy. So it's pretty neat how man has, humankind has, adapted so many things. Look at how some different fruits are in the wild compared to what they are in the grocery store. Like bananas look so different. In Japan, they grow like square watermelons, so they're easy to stack. So, yeah, pretty neat how, I guess through, selective, breeding and generation over generation, how we've altered the way food looks. So, well, come back on our next episode where we actually start going down into the seashore and doing some exploring there. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.